All right, I clicked on it. That means I'm going to do it. Okay, here we go. Right Wing Watch has put out some audio. I want you to listen to this guy who, this is Republican Dave Bratt, Republican from Virginia. He is extremely upset that President Obama has the nerve, the unmitigated gall, to use the Bible to point out Republican hypocrisy. Listen in.
Last month, you started mocking Republicans and saying we were scared of orphans and widows. Well, people in the tradition know what that word means, right? That's one of Jesus' key commands: take care of those in prison, the widows, and orphans. Again, commands. But he's using the Christian tradition, and he's trying to bring about compassion by bonking Republicans over the head with the Bible. So, I mean, it's almost a comedy routine on what compassion and love is. He's mocking his enemies in order to compel a larger federal state using the tradition of love.
Yeah,
and so our side, the conservative side, needs to re-educate its people that we own the entire tradition. The left right now, if you go to Harvard or Princeton or Stanford, the philosophy departments, they do not even believe in the concept of truth. They rejected natural law decades ago. If you go in and mention religion, they'll laugh you out of the room, right? But they've given up on even the concept that there is some metaphysical, objective form of truth.
Come on.
And that's what the debate should be all about. And our side needs to bring that up, because if you lose the moral argument, you'll lose the policy argument every time.
All right. That's enough right there. I hope you guys were able to tune in and listen to what he was saying. So essentially, he is incensed. He is furious that President Obama would take the reality of what the Bible says about embracing the orphan and the widow and use that to point out the hypocrisy of Republicans saying that we wouldn't even let a 3-year-old orphan from Syria in the nation into America. How dare President Obama use the Bible to point out Republican hypocrisy? And so instead of confronting the merits of what President Obama said, he begins to try to, I guess this was perhaps a rhetorical jujitsu, a bit of rhetorical jujitsu by him, saying that President Obama and liberals really have no moral standing to use the Bible to point out the hypocrisy, because liberals don't believe in fundamental truth and all the other questions that the other statements that I won't even get into right now. But he essentially said that conservatives own this tradition, that the only people, and this is what I took from it, you can take from it what you want to, but this Dave Bratt is saying that conservatives own this Christian tradition, and because of that, President Obama, who identifies as a Christian, who has said over and over again that he's a Christian, can't dare criticize them using the Bible. Well, he doesn't need to use the Bible to criticize you guys, because one, you just, it's so obvious that you're morally bankrupt, right? That's number one. He didn't even have to use the Bible, but I think it's very, very telling when you expose people for who and what they really are. They get so butthurt. Like, he is really outraged. He's really taken back by the fact that President Obama called them out and used a biblical reference that he couldn't deny. And so he attacked President Obama for even using the Bible, as if conservatives own the Bible. Whatever. The point is this. The point is this, is that on the merits of what President Obama said, on the merits of everything good in the Bible, the Republican Party is morally bankrupt and devoid of any sense of compassion, any sense of justice. Forget about justice. Forget about loving your neighbor. Forget about loving the Bible calls them the stranger or the alien, loving people who are not from your shores. You know, forget about all those things. Republicans are completely empty and bereft of any connection to anything good in the Bible. I think they have opted to take all of the bad out of the Bible and just run with that. But when somebody calls them on it, they say, flag on the play. Wait a minute. You're a liberal. You can't tell us about the Bible because we own that tradition. What the hell does that even, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but it speaks to the desperation of conservatives to maintain the appearance of morality without having any actual morality. It speaks to the desperation of conservatives to be able to co-opt anything positive and anything good and everything good out of the Bible without actually having to do anything good according to what the Bible says. It speaks to their desire to own a monopoly on religion to their political and economic benefit without ever doing anything good based on their religion. And he didn't even realize, he thought he was making an argument against President Obama using the Bible to criticize Republicans. And he didn't even realize that he exposed himself to be as empty and devoid of morality, basically proving exactly what President Obama said to be absolutely 100% true, that this Bible that Republicans use to hit people across the head with, to justify their injustices, to justify their bigotry, to justify their misogyny, to justify their racism, to justify their sexism, to justify their xenophobia, to justify their attack on gay marriage, the Bible that they use to abuse everyone with condemns them first.